Hello everybody. This is our final Knowledge Transfer Workshop, or KTW. This being the final one, it's a bit different. It has three functions. The normal one you've been doing until now, where we look at the latest sub-theme of the latest transnational workshop, in this case, social innovation and social enterprise. Some of this material got in late, so sorry about this coming out a bit later. We're also going to be talking about the upcoming final conference, the final event, and I want to get you focusing on that. And of course, we're winding up the project now, so now is really the time to focus on finalizing your local action plans and moving into implementation. All the accompanying documentation has been made available on the internet. So as usual, you get some videos on YouTube, you get a range of presentations and documentation available on the online help desk, and also on a temporary Dropbox link that I will include. So, what are the main issues at this stage? Well, the project is coming to an end now, so it's really the time to start thinking about what you did and being able to explain what you achieved. Also, I would ask you to collectively start thinking about what were the challenges that you faced and had to deal with, had to overcome, because that's something we'll be talking about in Brussels. More on that later on. And as we are wrapping this up, this is where you need to agree with your stakeholders a shared message or narrative about what your town achieved in JobTown. You'll remember at the beginning of the implementation phase, you all did these pitch videos on what you wanted to achieve. Well, now I want to move you into thinking about doing an elevator speech about what you achieved and more generally what you want to say or message about your town. More on that later on. Getting back to the workshop Innovato, this time around the idea of defining terms was much more important than it has been with other workshops, largely because a lot of people are still at the phase of, well, social innovation, social enterprise, just what is it? Then for us, the following question was just what concretely can a local public administration do to support social innovation and social enterprise and make all those good things happen? And furthermore, how can we make good things happen for less? For, as you well know, all over Europe, public administrations are having their budgets cut. I think it's fair to say that dealing with that is one of the key challenges of the moment, and we had some excellent material on just how to go about doing that. Now, obviously, JobTown is about jobs, and the issue of social enterprise is fundamentally important for us in two ways. First, we might look at it as a means of providing support. For example, I think it's important to look at what support are we providing to the unemployed. Now, that's something that social enterprise can help with. At the same time, social enterprise is a provider of employment. These are jobs, real jobs, and it's an important growth sector. Now, a key issue around social enterprise that I really want to bring your attention to is this idea that they are, in fact, enterprises. They need to successfully monetize what they do and how they provide value. They have to have viable business plans. This was a key issue for many of the examples that we saw in Innovato, because many of them depended almost entirely on public money to keep functioning, on grants or subsidies and the like. Then, of course, the obvious question is, how sustainable is that? What future do they have? Key to really getting social enterprise is that on one hand you have social enterprise, that is businesses with a business model, and on the other hand you have things like charity or the simple outsourcing of public services, which is not to say those things are bad, but they're just quite different things. In this light, I would say that the contribution of Neil Woodbridge from Thurrock was particularly valuable for showing us in day-to-day concrete terms how the books are managed, etc., how such a social enterprise is run and made to be a viable business. Now, there were a great many presentations that were done throughout the workshop. I'm not going to make a complete list of them. What's really important and what's the bottom line is what you found important and ultimately applicable in some way to your own circumstances back home. In the document, I refer to a few of the examples that really stood out in my mind and that I felt were important. Now, if I may, I'd like to draw your attention back to the cheering subject of budget cuts. This is obviously a pretty fundamental issue, and anything that can help an administration deal with that is very welcome help, I would think. We had a really excellent contribution from Joris van der Voort of the ESADE Business School, one of Europe's leading business schools. He quite succinctly articulated the key issues of dealing with budget cuts and trying to maintain the effectiveness and the morale of an organization. So some of the key issues were decision-making autonomy, having the right information on which to base decisions, how you communicate your decisions, and the different paradoxes that you have to navigate in budget-cutting circumstances. I think that was a really excellent contribution. I encourage you to go back and have another look. And then, of course, there are the labs, which are extremely important now because we're closing up the project and moving towards finalizing and implementing them. Many of you are already implementing them, which is really great. In Aveiro, we looked at everyone's local action plans in the form of a poster session. Pictures of these posters are now available online, either the help desk or a Dropbox link I provide. You might want to consider using some of these pictures as a tool for generating discussion about your own local action plans in your locality. It's something we're thinking about. In the end, we only have video available for one of the afternoon sessions, the second one. These videos aren't perfectly complete or of any great technical quality. However, they are useful if you're interested in going back and reviewing the contents of that session. To make it easier for you, if you go to the YouTube page where they're posted, under the video section in the description section, if you open that up, you will see the contents of the video by time, so you can hop around to the bits that are of interest to you and do as you see fit. Likewise, all the presentations are available on the help desk and on a Dropbox link I provide. So closing up, I'd say yes, we do want to channel what we learned from what I think was a very interesting workshop about social innovation, enterprise, and what it can do. But now really is a time where the focus is on finalizing and moving towards implementation of our local action plans. And it's a time to be looking forward to the final event in Brussels, where you'll be presenting your achievements and more broadly a message about what you want people to know about your locality. And I hope you're looking forward to it with enthusiasm and some ambition. Please think about this idea of doing an elevator speech. There'll be more about that later on. I want to thank all of you for what you've given to the project. All these workshop events are based on a participatory process, so they're as good as what you put into them. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you all here in Brussels. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone.